So this stock here on your screen is a stock that ARK Invest owns, and it crashed over 50% today, wiping out billions of dollars in value. And no, this is not a penny pump and dump kind of stock. This is actually a multi-billion-dollar company that is now sitting at a $6.5 billion valuation after this sell-off. Wow, that is absolutely crazy. You don't really see companies that are valued at billions of dollars lose half their value in a single trading day. So what's going on? Let's discuss that in this video. Specifically, first I'm going to reveal what stock this is to you guys, and I'm also going to talk about how much of this ARK Invest owns. Secondly, we'll talk about why did it actually crash today, and then finally, will I be buying? Is this a buying opportunity? We'll talk. So guys, you know the drill, smash the like button. We've been slacking on that lately. We need to get 1,000 likes on this video. I know you can help me achieve that. So please take a second and hit the like button. And also, if you're brand new to the channel, subscribe, join the community. We're a growing community. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, but I've been rambling on long enough. Let's get into the content. So first off, what stock is this and how much does ARK Invest own? So I actually got tipped off of this stock from a member in my VIP group with the ticker symbol SRPT. Sarepta Therapeutics, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, is the stock, and it trades under the ticker symbol SRPT. And yes, it's down over 50% today. And you may have never heard of the stock before. I haven't heard of the stock before. It is a fairly decent sized company though, so it is worth to take some time to look into this. And like I mentioned, ARK Invest owns this stock. Now this is a pretty small position in the ARK-G, the genomics fund that they have, but it is still a stock that they own. We can see here that this stock sits at number 43 in this fund with 254,000 shares for a total value of $43 million. In fact, when I look through my emails on the ARK report I receive daily, ARK was actually buying some of this company back as recently as December. So it's not a stock that they bought a long time ago and this just happens to be in their portfolio. No. They're actively buying this stock. Now, do I think that they're going to buy more? Well, as of recording this video, the Friday report has not been released yet. Not really sure when I'm going to release the video, either Friday night or maybe sometime Saturday morning. But I'm pretty much going to post on the screen here if they did end up buying or not. I have a feeling that if they don't buy today, they will probably be buying sometime next week. That is, of course, if their outlook didn't change on the company. And that kind of brings us to our second point in this video. Why did the stock actually crash today? Now, if you can't guess from the name, this is a healthcare company, specifically one that's focused to bring therapies to those who need them right now. More specifically, this company is working on breakthrough therapies to treat genetic diseases. Right now, they have more than 40 investigational therapies in various stages of development, and a decent chunk of these are in late-stage clinical trials, which is very close to being finalized. In fact, here's a visual that I found of the therapies that they currently have. It totals around 43, with around a quarter in clinical trials or, already released, a quarter in about preclinical trials, and about half in discovery mode. Right now, they have 2 FDA-approved therapies, so they have proven that they can get approval. So it's just a matter of time for these other therapies that are in testing stages. So this company is definitely in a sector that ARK is extremely bullish on, genomics, and they're working on different sorts of therapies and products to fix some of the saddest diseases that we have out there that many other companies have just not been able to solve. So they definitely are, in my opinion, on the forefront of innovation here. So what's with this massive sell-off? So headlines today, I actually read that this stock tanked on possible 2-year delay for their muscular dystrophy gene therapy. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. If not, let me know in the comments. This therapy was supposed to produce large amounts of a key protein needed for muscle function and strength. And that protein is called dystrophin and is deficient in children born with Duchenne or Duchenne muscular dystrophy, or DMD. So this sounds very promising, and today we actually got an update on this therapy. So from a recent trial, the increases observed didn't lead to statistical significant improvements in muscle function after 1 year. There apparently was a lack of response in older patients, but younger patients showed a statistical significant improvement. So it's kind of mixed here. It seems like this therapy worked for some, didn't work for others. It helps younger kids, but it doesn't really help the older adults that may be suffering from this. The company said in a statement here that, these results make it more difficult to file for approval in 2021, and thus the company needs to push this out to a possible 2-year delay to get things back on track. Okay, so we understand now what caused this drop. It was pretty much them saying we need to delay this, but it kind of piqued my curiosity. Like, what exactly is the disease? What exactly are they trying to do here? Have other companies already solved this? That's what I wanted to find out. So this disease, called DMD for short, is an inherited disorder of progressive muscular weakness typically found in boys. Girls apparently aren't affected as much from this, but they do act as carriers for this disease. Symptoms include frequent falls, trouble getting up or running, waddling, having big calves, and learning disabilities. The sad part is here that I've noted there is no cure for this as of today. Honestly, guys, breaks my heart. It's pretty sad to see this, and for anyone that knows someone suffering from this, if you have kids that are suffering from this, I do feel for you, and I do hope that there is a cure that's out soon, which is why, I don't typically follow these kind of companies. But when I saw this and I looked into this company, it's really great to see them doing something like this to help out so many people, and I do really want to support them. The key takeaways here that I got from this information is that it affects boys, and there currently is no cure for it. Now, with statistics here, around 200,000 males in the US has this disease today, and according to data that I came across, about 1 in 5,000 males suffer from this at birth. So that pretty much affects their entire life from that point on. So now you may be thinking, seems pretty rare, only 200,000 people affected in a country of, 350 million, somewhere around there. So not really a big deal. But when you look at the stats of 1 in 5,000, the chances are that you probably are going to, come across someone that is suffering from this. And I think that is enough reason for this problem to be solved. Okay, so we understand now what the severity of this is, what the disease actually does, who it affects, how many people it affects. And we also know why the stock price dropped now. We know that it dropped because they delayed this out at least 2 years. But does that really warrant a 50%, half of its value drop in a single day? Well, remember this, they said that the recent trials actually saw some changes in younger patients. Now, while this only affects a portion of the total population that's affected, it's still something. It's still a step in the right direction. So the market just seems to not care about that. They want to focus on a 100% cure, a cure for everyone, and I guess that's why the stock is being punished so severely. I think that, even if you're able to help just a small portion, kids, to solve this disease, that's gonna help them for their entire life. And of course, it's still sad to see adults that are affected that may not have a cure, but if you can get, like, say 99% accuracy in solving this for younger people, then you could probably use that information, years and years of testing to find something that's highly effective for adults as well. So maybe it's pushed out a few years more for people that are older, but I still think they're headed in the right direction here. But that being said, I want to make a huge caveat. I am not an expert when it comes to this field. I don't really understand it on the level that many other experts in this field do, people at ARK Invest do, for example. But I do understand from a surface level what this company is trying to achieve, what they've done so far, how far they are with doing this, and their end goal really. Now also remember, they do have 43 different therapies. A lot of them they're still working on. But this right here is just one of them. It's not a make or break situation as far as I can tell. And even if this doesn't end up working, they still have other things they're working on. They still have a couple of things that are FDA approved. So this is still a business that is innovating, is trying to solve the world's problems with health, and I think has a good potential of being a pretty good company going forward. So in my opinion, this 50% sell-off seems to be a massive overreaction here on this piece of news that it's delayed, unless there's something more that I'm missing. Again, this is still preliminary. I'm doing a lot more research into this to see, if this is actually the only reason or if there's more behind this. But if you guys have any more information, just leave it in the comments down below. I'll check it out. So now the question comes up, will I be buying? So what I thought we'd do here is actually look at the charts for this to start off. After today's selling, the stock is now sitting just above its 100 moving average on the monthly, and this, guys, is a very strong level of support for any stock. Now, we're still above this level today, so we could see a bit more selling into next week, but to me, we should see the stock find some sort of support here to level us off. Now, we can see back in 2019, the stock did a similar sell-off. It brought it back to these levels as well when it was up much, much higher. So could this be just another one of these situations and ends up being a big buying opportunity? Well, I looked into it, and the drop in 2019 was also due to the DMD treatment. During the trial, one of the patients saw creatine levels spike, and the other bad news was that the FDA sent them a complete response letter, which isn't good, and this withholds approval from marketing. So they were really hit with two pieces of bad news, which caused that sell-off. But now when I look at today's news, I feel that it's much more positive than what came out a couple years ago that caused that huge sell-off. So to see a similar reaction once again on pretty much the same therapy, once again, I feel that investors may be a little bit irrational here if I'm understanding this correctly. So is this a buying opportunity? In my opinion, based on what I understand today, again, huge caveat, I'm not an expert here, I would venture to say that yes, there does seem to be some irrationality here. There does seem to be some, mindless selling, and this could be a buying opportunity. Now, like I said, I don't know if ARK did end up buying this or not as of recording this, but if they do say that they bought it here on Friday, then that would pretty much confirm my thesis that they believe this is an overreaction, this is a buying opportunity, and we may actually see this recover sooner than we think. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens. Now, if they don't buy it today, still keep an eye out for next week, because ARK sometimes waits a couple of days before they start buying heavy into opportunities that they see. So we'll keep an eye on this and we'll track this closely to see if sometime next week they end up buying, or maybe they just continue buying throughout the week. We'll wait and see. I won't make any judgments on that right now. Now, the one thing I do want to say here when it comes to these type of stocks is that I typically stay far away, because they're just so volatile. They rely on things outside of their fundamentals, and there's absolutely no way to see something like this coming. Like, say I bought into this stock a few months ago, I'm writing it up, fundamentals look strong, everything looks strong in the business, and then bam, you're hit with something like this, which, let's be real, you have no idea whether it's going to be good news or bad news when they have clinical trials. You're left down massively in a position, and with companies like this, you don't really know if it's actually going to recover, because if they fail trial after trial after trial, investors lose confidence and money just flows out of that. That's why I typically do not invest in these sort of pharmaceutical companies, just because it's just an added amount of risk, just an added amount of information I don't have access to. But when there's opportunities like this and I see 50% drop in a single day, maybe it's worth a little bit of cash for a speculative position. Now, I will say this, as of right now, I don't own this stock. Maybe next week that'll change, and it'll all depend on my research that I do this weekend to understand this better and really figure out if this is worth my hard-earned money. Nonetheless, I just wanted to throw this up on your guys' radars just so that you can research it as well. Let's have a discussion in the comments section, share whatever you know about this company. Let's figure out if this is actually a big buying opportunity for us. And hopefully we can benefit from this while helping this company solve such a terrible disease that's out there. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to invest positively, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.